Murphy, Austin, Adams, Schoenfeld, LLP, a business law firm celebrating 20 years of service to community, is proud to support Rob on the Road Region Rising. More information at murphyaustin.com. A special half hour of Rob on the Road as we journey into the lives of passionate people like Willie Recht of Sacramento's Jewish Federation.
There is a value and a theory and a practice in Judaism, and it's called tikkun olam, and it means repairing the world. I think the Jewish community tries very hard to do that.
We'll meet a mother fighting to protect people from domestic violence at the Family Justice Center, turning her own heartache into heartfelt service to others.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking about love at this moment.
What is the thought?
I think she'd be proud.
You gonna be okay?
Yes,
How do you know?
because I have to be here for love.
And her living will not be in vain.
We'll see how this grandmother is transforming her loss into an enduring legacy at Joshua's house.
And it's love for my grandson, who unfortunately didn't live long enough to see it happen and be part of it. But he'll live on in Joshua's house.
And a surprising discovery beneath California's capital, where Jenn Crabbe elevates healthy food, healthy living, and a commitment to address some of our biggest regional challenges.
We all promote living intentionally. We employed hundreds of people that were able to each go back and do something positive in their own communities because they were inspired about what we were doing here. It's just overwhelming that I get to be a part of this.
Rob on the Road, Region Rising, starts now.
And now, Rob on the Road, exploring Northern California.
When people hear about it, they go, why haven't we been doing that for a really long time? Why do we leave victims to do everything themselves when if they leave a violent environment, they leave with nothing? And we expect them to do everything? How?
This is the story of four powerful people: Jan Scully, Faith Whitmore, Tamara McIntosh, and her daughter Love McIntosh. Each woman has an important story of her own, but what they are doing together is extraordinary. Every one of these women could tell it herself, except Love. Her murder is what brought these women together here at the Sacramento Regional Family Justice Center.
Tell me about Love.
Well, Love was loyal friend to many. She was prankster, loving, caring.
Love McIntosh is a victim of domestic violence, killed by her boyfriend in 2012.
What do you want to say for Love on Love's behalf?
I want to say for these women and men who are in relationships, and if you feel that, you know, it's not going to work out, I think you should find an exit plan.
This room is named in memory of Love. It's one of many safe spaces at the Family Justice Center, or FJC, a one-stop shop of collaboration and care for victims of domestic violence, elder abuse, sexual assault, human trafficking, and child abuse. If that's you, this place could save your life. And all you have to do is call or show up. Jan Scully is the driving force behind the creation of Sacramento's FJC. Scully spent almost 40 years prosecuting crimes, 20 of those years as Sacramento's elected district attorney. Scully announced at her retirement in 2014 the launch of the FJC. Her mission became reality in 2016 when these doors to safety and hope opened wide.
When I was a DA, some considered me a hard nose. prosecutor, lock them up. And that was true on the right crimes, but it wasn't true with every crime. And in the area of family violence, you can't prosecute your way out of the problem. It's so much bigger. And so for me, yes, was I ready to leave the DA's office as the elected DA? Yes, but I wasn't ready to fold up my tent and, just go hide. I still felt I could make a contribution. And I wanted to be part of something from the community side of it that was bigger. Not one-faceted, but multifaceted. And that's what the Family Justice Center is.
A staggering 80 agencies work together at the FJC. The result? Quick response time. Even caseworkers can rush to emergency rooms, to a victim's side, filing restraining orders remotely, intervening during the critical moments a victim is being treated and protected.
What do you say to someone who is trapped in a domestic violence situation? Feels trapped. Perception is reality.
Tell someone.
Who?
It depends on your community. Tell someone that you can trust. If it may be at work. Maybe that safe place is at work. Maybe that safe place is a relative or a neighbor. What's funny is that a lot of people aren't the ones that report domestic violence on their own. It takes someone else. Domestic violence, family violence touches all of us. And so part of that answer is to the community is we need to start talking about it. If you're thinking about getting ready to leave and your abuser knows it, that's an issue. So you need that support. You need those services. You need the safety plan that we give to help design with the victim before they walk out of the door.
You have all that here, and it's free.
It's all free.
More than 5,000 victims are safer today, all from coming through these doors. This safe space is armed with police and protective care for victims of all ages. There's even Buddy the therapy dog, ready to help.
The word is hope. Our byline is hope thrives here. Just get here. We'll take it from there.
Faith Whitmore is CEO with her heart in service. This Methodist minister says love and grace is alive at FJC, as well as life-saving abuse education and tools, one of which a danger risk assessment test.
They look objectively at those 20 questions, and if they filled out 15 or 16, they go, oh my gosh, I am really in a dangerous situation that I didn't know I was in. I didn't know it was this bad.
You set the tone. It's a joyful place. Isn't that odd?
It is, I know. I'm glad you felt that, because that's what we want to create. We want to create, a peaceful place, a warm place, like, come on in, we're going to take care of you.
Which takes us back inside to Tamra, who is here supporting the FJC, raising her daughter's voice to keep others from being silenced by domestic violence.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking about love at this moment.
What is the thought?
I think she'd be proud.
You gonna be okay?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because I have to be here for love.
And her living will not be in vain.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Jewish Federation of the Greater Sacramento region is really immersed in all of our region, and the executive director is Willie Recht, here to talk about it today. Willie, good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Glad to be here with you, Willie. You are one busy man.
I love it. I feel like the luckiest guy on earth, though.
Why?
Because I get to do what I love.
What is that? What is it that you love?
I love building community.
It's clearly working. Willie Recht is the youngest executive director of any Jewish federation in America. Willie and his team just pulled off their most successful annual campaign here in a decade. There are 150 Jewish federations nationwide, raising and giving away more than $2 billion a year, supporting welfare, social, and educational needs. These same services are offered here to help our region rise, including a community social worker through Jewish Family Services, responding to more than 700 calls a year, and giving away more than 12,000 books annually to help kids read.
We really want to provide an opportunity for people to be Jewish and do Jewish. There's not a lot of other Jewish organizations in Sacramento, and if you're not affiliated with a synagogue, where are you going to go? How are you going to be Jewish?
This is a representation of the people.
We're the umbrella organization for the Jewish community in Sacramento. We're the central address of the Jewish community, for better or for worse.
Willie, just 37 years old, has found himself face to face with hate crimes his very ancestors faced decades ago. The 2018 synagogue shootings in Pittsburgh rocked Willie and this community to the core. You are looking at Willie's response, a community prayer vigil in Sacramento, 2 days after the senseless shootings in a place all too familiar with acts of crime.
I was there, I walked in the synagogue, packed, overflowing, and out the doors. The community came back to you, to the Federation, to the congregation. What did that feel like? Because you're standing right there at the front and can see it all. Take me to that spot.
Scared, because God forbid I didn't want something. It had been 2 days. Who knows what was going to happen? I wasn't thinking then. I just had to do. We just had to provide a safe place for the community to get together and reflect and mourn together.
But that is the magic of action, is you don't have time to think and plan, you have to do.
You know, B'nai Israel was the victim of hate crime, a firebombing 20 years ago, and it seemed like the appropriate place for the community to gather. We expected 500 people. We could have easily had 1,500 people. I really feel like many of the terrible things that happen come from a place of fear. And so if we're able to move past that fear, I think that can't be harmful. But looking out and afterwards, I did feel comforted, and I did feel that people cared and people understood what happened.
In Davis, there was an incident that made international headlines about an imam and remarks that were made. The Interfaith Alliance of our area responded, and I saw you standing there with everyone else in the alliance, and I wondered what you were thinking.
Well, so prior to that happening, the Jewish Community Relations Council, which is a program of the Federation, sat down and had one-on-one conversations in this building with the imam.
Really?
Yes. With rabbis, with different leaders from the community to talk about what happened. And the imam decided to make a public apology to the community based on the conversations and interactions that took place in this building and in this community. And so, talk about fear or talk about, reaching out, it's a prime example. And some people were upset with how we dealt with that. But what would the option be? The option would be that we would just perpetuate fear, that we would just divide further. And here we were able to stand together. He made a public apology to the Jewish community in Davis.
Did you accept it?
Yes.
In your heart?
Yes.
Was it hard?
Yes. There is a value and a theory and a practice in Judaism, and it's called tikkun olam, and it means repairing the world. And I think the Jewish community tries very hard to do that.
Here's proof. Take the devastating Camp Fire that ripped through homes and hearts of thousands of people in Paradise.
When this was happening in Butte County in the Camp Fire, we knew there was not a heavy Jewish population there. However, there were lives there, there were humans there that needed help. And so our federation opened up a fund, and within 2 weeks we raised almost $250,000. And this speaks to the strength of the federated system. So, New York Federation, San Francisco, San Diego, Phoenix, Dallas, they all sent out a link to our fund. So money came in from the Jewish community from all over the country. So Jewish communities throughout the country had the opportunity to give Jewishly just to help people. Not help Jewish people, but to help people.
Caring and giving is in Willie's blood. In his office hangs this poignant plaque. This is his grandparents' Lifetime Achievement Award from the Jewish Federation in Milwaukee for decades of selfless service and generous giving. It's a priceless gift from his grandmother.
I wonder what she feels about your position here.
She started crying when I told her I got this job.
Wow. What did she say besides
She
tears?
said, I wish your grandfather could know. There's a strong Jewish community here, and I want the Jewish Federation to be at the center of that community, open to all, ready to provide opportunities for people to be Jewish and do Jewish, and to provide the critical services and programs that in many cases save people's lives.
This is Marlene von Friedrich Fitzwater, holding a picture of her beloved grandson, Joshua. Joshua is the inspiration for her passion project, Joshua's House. It's a hospice home for the homeless who are terminally ill and dying on the streets of Sacramento. That's why Marlene is laser focused on her life's mission, working up to 14 hours a day in her office, surrounded by the signs that call her to action. Quotes like, "We're all just walking each other home," alongside more pictures of Joshua in happier times. And her mission statement, compassionate care for the homeless at the end of life. This is a project born in great sorrow. Joshua died in 2014, homeless on the streets of Omaha, Nebraska.
To lose a grandchild. It's so backwards, right?
Yeah.
But who would have thought that this would come from that?
Yeah, I agree. I would have not imagined. But it came in a very, like, it had to be this.
This is an 11,000 square foot state-of-the-art hospice house. It's planned right next to Loaves and Fishes on North C Street in Sacramento, inside a 100-year-old warehouse Marlene bought in the summer of 2018. Set to open in 2019, Joshua's House will be the first hospice home for homeless on the West Coast, and only the 7th in the U.S. Having just retired from UC Davis, this career physician, medical professor, cancer researcher, and survivor became a champion for change.
I had never thought that someone who was homeless would end up just dying on the street and not have anywhere to go. And so we were seeing cancer patients at UCD who were homeless, and they would come in and have a diagnosis or meet with a doctor and have a treatment and then be discharged back out on the street because we didn't have, just on the street. We don't have enough shelters that provide 24-hour care. We don't have enough Medi-Cal beds. We had nowhere for them to go. And so I became aware of that and began to talk more to Josh about that, and he confirmed, oh, Grandma, there's 6 people I've just met who are dying of cancer.
Joshua's House will be a 20-bed facility, partnering with every major hospital system in our region, providing care 24 hours a day for the terminally ill homeless.
You put up a chunk of your own retirement for this, to buy this building.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful. That's belief.
Oh, it's belief. And it's love for my grandson, who unfortunately didn't live long enough to see it happen and be part of it. But he'll live on in Joshua's House. We want to provide acceptance and respect and love in a way that their final days, however many days there are, that their final days will be filled with that, with compassion and love and support, and help them find ways to kind of leave a legacy, leave a story behind.
I just realized also that when they walk through or brought through this door for this chapter to come to a close, that it will be the first time in a very long time that they have not been referred to as homeless, because they will actually have a home.
They will have a home. It's what keeps me sharing the story and requesting money and meeting with potential donors, and that's it. It's just knowing that 20 people to start, and we hope we can grow down the road and have more than 20, but at least to start, 20 people will know that they matter and their lives mattered and that they're loved.
There's a sentence that goes through my brain all the time, and it is, look what love can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Look what love can do.
Yeah. And that's what we'll see here.
Take a look at an extraordinary California recipe. Farm fresh foods, a team of tested talents, all marinating in mindfulness and mission. The key ingredient, Jenn Crabbe, and her culinary creation is Statehouse at the Capitol.
Why don't we try like a butternut squash, white sauce with caramelized onions for the special?
It's hard to believe we are in the basement of the California Capitol building, right next to the famed statue of California Governor and President Ronald Reagan. Now a vibrant restaurant and boutique experience, it's transformed this space into destination dining, serving fresh and homemade meals for breakfast and lunch, with an exploding catering business, many for regional nonprofits.
I've heard numerous people come through here and say, whoa, look what they've done.
It's bright, it's clean, which is really important to me. When you're in a historic building like the state capitol, you want to be able to have a renovation that lasts over time.
The renovation was an enormous undertaking, a $1 million makeover led by Jenn and her team.
It is rocking and rolling here, Jenn. I mean, it's busy in this basement.
It is busy, and not only is it busy with Capitol staff, we have all of the lobbyists, and we have 1.9 million tourists that come through this building.
A year?
A year, yeah. When we came into this building, it was such an honor to be in the state capitol. There is only one. It wasn't representing our slogan of Farm to Fort Capital.
The Sacramento area is the farm to fort capital of this country. But inside the Capitol, Jenn discovered what she believed was a golden opportunity and opened the doors to fresh food and new beginnings.
To be able to come in here and, yeah, we can run a business, but the question is, how do you want to run your business? And what can you do to empower and uplift the community around you? And as business owners, we have that opportunity to do that in our hiring practices, to do it in our culture. You know, we have a 48-page employee handbook. Technically, we're in the restaurant industry, but it's not really about being in the restaurant industry. For us, it's the people industry. We all promote living intentionally, and I think our staff also passes that on to all the clients that come in here. I walk through the hallways, everybody says, like, thank you so much, your staff is so great.
I've seen it, I've been watching it.
And it makes me so happy that everybody has that feeling, you know? Our staff doesn't take it for granted that this is their job. Oh, I'm going to work today. It's like, yay, I'm at work today. And it takes a lot to have that on a day-to-day basis.
Every employee is here for a specific reason and fits into Jenn's big picture, that people business. She hires graduates of St. John's Program for Real Change, offering formerly homeless mothers a job of their own. Jenn has hired refugees and people with autism. It's a delicate dance with an executive chef creating recipes for more than just a meal.
They just need a hand up and not a handout. And I'm taking that from our friends at Habitat, who we're also partners with.
This is the result of that partnership and Jenn's intent and mission in motion. Jenn and her team rolled out the red carpet for a world-class celebration, turning the Capitol lawn into an outdoor ballroom, the first of its kind on the Capitol grounds.
And that was really my intention on showing everyone in this building what that space could look like.
So what is it? What does it take to make our region rise? Jenn says it's more than just showing up.
So if we have to look back 15 years from now, I would hope that they could say that we employed hundreds of people that were able to each go back and do something positive in their own communities because they were inspired about what we were doing here. I think it's for the building itself to feel that they get the quality in the state capitol. It's just overwhelming. Like, I just love that I get to be a part of this.
Murphy, Austin, Adams, Schoenfeld, LLP, a business law firm celebrating 20 years of service to community, is proud to support Rob on the Road Region Rising. More information at murphyaustin.com.